Thank you, all you wonderful people in the future coming back to the past to visit this old e-skater. My name is Charles, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the most important thing you're going to need when riding any kind of electric transportation. Most people think a helmet is the #1 thing you need for safety, and I say this is #2. I'm going to tell you what #1 is in just a minute. Helmets are necessary when learning how to ride electric skateboard. They're all different. They vary in degrees of quality. This is my helmet. I bought it at a big box store. I had a choice of this or a Little Pony helmet or a Spider-Man helmet. That was all the choices I had. So this is what I picked up. It does the job, but it's about as comfortable as a football helmet with a cardboard box jammed in the bottom of it. That's about what this one is, but it works. It's fine. I would put glasses right behind a helmet. This is #2. I would say glasses, some form of sunglasses or safety glasses would be in your #2 or actually #3 thing you should have as far as safety. You never know. When I first started riding my electric skateboard, I was riding down the street, and I don't know why, but here in Texas we have these little bugs that look like gnats. They're not mosquitoes, but they're flying around the air in the afternoon. And sometimes I get off work and I want to go ride my skateboard. And I've had one hit me in the eye, and I actually had to come back to the house and put some Vigamox in my eye and not ride for a couple of days because my eye was all jacked up. You might be thinking, what would be #1 as far as safety? What thing do you need besides a helmet? Well, some people might use knee pads. Knee pads are pretty important. This is a pair. The knee pads, the elbow pads right here, the wrist protection. This all comes in a kit from a company called 888. This is my son's. He's obviously scraped it up pretty good. He's been riding skateboards for years. He's got several of them laying around here. This is actually really important. This is called a wrist guard. This is a pretty cool invention. It's made by 888. It's a little pad like this. It's got a piece of plastic here and a piece of plastic here. You stick your hand through it, you fold it over, and you take this strap and you pull it around, and then you pull this one around like this, the opposite way, and then this one goes like this. And this is actually a pretty nice piece of safety equipment. I don't use it now anymore because I've been riding for a while, but these 3 pieces, this one, and this one, they all come together in a kit from 888, and I would highly suggest you buying this little kit when you first start off. A lot of people think that grip tape is actually a really important thing to have, is one of the most important things to have all over your board. Well, with a regular skateboard, because you're doing tricks, they put grip tape on the entire board because your feet might be landing here, they're jumping off the board, might be landing there, might be landing there, and regular skateboards have really small wheels, so they can come out from underneath you really easily. So on a regular skateboard, obviously grip tape is very, very important. On an electric skateboard, grip tape's not quite as important. This is one piece of regular size grip tape, and I cut it down and made the little eyes for the alien's eyes. Somebody thought this was a hockey player. Somebody said, "Hey, I like your hockey players." I was like, "Oh, thanks," but it's an alien, 2 aliens. This is Seth Rogen and this is James Franco, and they're married in the middle, so this is my Rogan Franco board. Grip tape is important, but it's not as important as the #1 thing. Some people think the size of the board and how fast your motors and how well it fits you. As far as, I have a long board. This thing I think it's about 40 inches long. If you're a little smaller, you might want a little smaller board. And some people ride with a really long board, like 4 feet long. Never been on one of those, but I might want to try one day. Some people think a cell phone is the #1 thing you need when riding an electric skateboard. Because if you break down or you're out somewhere and your battery runs down and you need to get back home, you have a cell phone. It's important, but it's not the most important thing. It is important. There's a time when I drove so far away from my house, I had to call and get a ride back to my house. So I was just out having so much fun, I just didn't want to stop. I was just riding. My battery died, and I had to drag my electric skateboard back to my house. But it wasn't bad. After about a mile, I was like, this isn't so bad. I mean, I pick it up by the trucks and drag it like a piece of luggage at the airport. Wasn't bad at all. Other people think that the wheels are the most important. Regular skateboard has really small wheels and they're really hard. Electric skateboards tend to have larger wheels. They're a softer rubber, kind of the consistency of a regular road tire. I mean, a little bit harder than that. And it depends on what type of wheels you want. You want all-terrain wheels, and you want to pick your wheels based on where you live. If you ride around on street wheels and you live out in the country, they're not going to be very comfortable for ride, but you still ride them, and they're not going to be unsafe. I mean, you just need to ride a little slower. But all-terrain wheels like these are kind of a hybrid all-terrain street wheel. These are called cloud wheels. I really like them, and I'll probably ride these until they fall off my skateboard. If you've guessed that any of these things are the #1 thing you need for riding an electric skateboard or electric Onewheel, electric surfboard or electric scooter or motorcycle or bicycle, I'm telling you, you are wrong right now. The #1 thing you're gonna need is gonna be illustrated by a story of 2 different types of animals. You may think that's kind of weird, but here we go. The first animal, the scientific name is Canis latrans. It's a common dog, wild dog. In the United States, we call them coyotes. The second animal, its scientific name is Geococcus, translated earth chicken. It's a small bird that can run really fast on the ground, but it can't fly. We in the United States call them roadrunners. The coyote chases the roadrunner every day, but it can never catch it. So the coyote gets fed up with chasing the roadrunner and never catching it. So he orders rocket-propelled roller skates from the Acme Rocket-Propelled Roller Skate Company. He straps the rocket-propelled roller skates to his feet, fires them up, and nervously sets out to catch the roadrunner. He quickly becomes acclimated to this new massive increase in forward trajectory. He almost catches the roadrunner on his first attempt, but after becoming overly confident with his mad rocket-propelled roller skate skills, he completely ignores Newton's first law of motion. A body in motion stays in motion until acted upon by another force. In other words, he never checked the brakes. He never checked how to stop his rocket-propelled roller skates before he started. The difference between the coyote and the roadrunner is common sense. The roadrunner has common sense. The coyote, not so much. And that's the thing you need the most before you get a helmet, before you get knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards, sunglasses, skateboard, anything. You have to have common sense when riding any form of electric transportation. You have to know your limits. You have to know when you can go and when you can stop. It's the most important thing because a helmet is not going to stop you from riding out in front of a bus. A helmet is not going to stop you from falling and scraping yourself up or getting your knees banged up. A helmet is not going to stop you from getting a bug in your eye. You have to have enough common sense to have the right equipment, ride within your ability. Common sense. Sometimes you're the roadrunner and sometimes you're the coyote. You want to ride down the road like the roadrunner, with a smile on your face and the wind in your hair, and ride confidently and safely. Thank you for visiting this old e-skater. My name is Charles. We'll see you next time.